Good morning, folks. It is Monday, July 14th, 11:49 a.m. is the time, and outside the temperature is around 27 degrees Celsius, and we are here on a GO train. Hopefully you can see and hear everything a-okay. There's the CN Tower, and we are off to Mimico. And then when we get to Mimico, I'm going to hop off the train and we're going to go for a bit of a walk. Thought we would do something a little bit different. There's the Sky Dome. I need to make my way to Rome Auto to pick up a vehicle. So we're kind of killing two birds with one stone this morning. And I see Gertej, Vivian, Medano, Carolyn, Daniel, Alicia Lewis, Aiden Thompson McGuire, and a number of others in the chat. Good morning. Rocking the new Jays cap. Says, I hope the air quality is better where you are. Hey, there's an Up Express train. Those were not running over the weekend. And a look up at the well. Josiah's here. Wayne Baker. Nicole Morse. So I almost didn't make it here on time. The TTC was dragging its heels. I was hoping to be on the train and all set up to stream with plenty of time, but I found myself scrambling. So it's not going to be very long. Mimico is in 2 stops, so we're going to be stopping at Exhibition. Then I'm going to be hopping off the train in Mimico. And we're going to turn this train ride into a walk. This is looking out of the north side of the train as we go westbound. Joshua Martin is here. Jeanette is here. Daniel is here. And yes, I'm sitting in the quiet zone, but the hours are Monday to Friday, 6 a.m. to 10 a.m., as well as 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. So no, we are not being rude. Also, there's no one around here. We're arriving at Exhibition Station, so we're in Liberty Village right now. Joshua says, me and my mom always love to watch your videos and streams. Thank you. There's some work being done to the Gardner Expressway over there. And we can probably see more Ontario Line construction over on this side. But like I said, at the next stop, we're going to be hopping off the train. That's the Liberty Village neighborhood just to the north of here. Greetings, Zach Thong. So I think what we'll be doing is walking north up Royal York the Queensway. And then I'll be heading over
Clear the doors.
to Kipling, then it'll be north on Kipling. So we're going to be walking through the West End. And since we're getting off at the next stop, maybe I'll put my backpack on. Just get ready to go here. One sec. Yes, I could have just taken the TTC the whole way. It would have been cheaper and taken a little bit longer. It would have been less stressful because I wouldn't have to worry about trying to catch this GO train.
Your coach 2781, 2213, 2438, 2319.
Look at that trench they've dug.
2302.
And a new pedestrian crossing going in, an elevated one. The current one is below grade. Jordan lives at Royal York and Queensway. Great area with lots of new stuff. Well, we're gonna go find out firsthand. There's a lot of new developments going up in that area. You're definitely right about that. That's the Canadian National Exhibition to the south of the train. Gertej is going to Wet and Wild tomorrow. I think my TTC is free when transferring to the GO. I'm not sure about that. I'll have to see how it racks up my charges later on. But I do have to remember to, I think we'll get better sight lines on this side. I do have to remember to tap my way off though. Otherwise it's gonna charge me maximum fare. Lisa says GO train seats are the worst. They're the worst when it's busy because I'm 5'11" for reference, sitting normally. There's my feet. What if there was a stranger across from me? And what if that stranger were like taller than 4 feet? Are we just supposed to like interlock our knees? Like they put their knee here? Like, I'm fairly average by Western male standards, I guess. So yeah, these seats are okay if you know the people you're sitting with, but if you don't, they are super duper awkward. Got kind of overcast skies. Traffic is moving well. Canadian girl flew to YYZ on June 28th. Savage K debating whether or not to go to the Wu-Tang concert. Oh, good luck with whatever you decide. Gerald Jones says from the TTC it's not free. Yeah, I figured. The TTC fare was a little over $3, and providing I remember to tap out, this one should be about $3 and change just to get from Union to Mimico. So I paid double the cost. But if I took the TTC, I would have to transfer to line 2 at Bloor Young and then hop on a bus at Royal York. This way is infinitely more comfortable. Sheena says, looks colder. No, it is 27 degrees right now. honestly can't remember getting off at Mimico station before. I've gotten off and on at Long Branch a bunch of times over my life, Port Credit, Clarkson, Exhibition, Union. I must have gotten off at Mimico at some point. Oh, here we go. Well, that is it for our GO train portion of the live stream. All of not even 10 minutes. Huzzah! We have made it! Welcome to Mimico. We are out in Etobicoke, the city's west end. And yeah, it is fucking hot. I have no idea why this train is taking its sweet ass time. Oh, I think there's a fare inspector.
Final call on the doors. Stand clear of the doors. Doors are now closing.
Stand clear of the doors. Doors are now closing. Canadian girl says there's a lot of smoke at the cottage. Watch this green beast of a train roll off. Andrea says you're up north and it's just horrid. The heat doesn't help. Hope you are doing well regardless. Digital Blade Canada says the air quality is terrible today. Choo-choo. So I'll be taking 3 modes of transportation. The subway to get to Union, the GO train to get to Mimico, and this little thing known as the automobile to get back home. Let's see, someone said the air quality is terrible today. Let me Google that. I typed Toronto A and it populated Art Fair. Toronto air quality. Monday. High risk. So we are having some shite air quality. I was not aware of that. Oh well. Shades on. There we are, rocking the new Jace hat. You better get used to it. I'm going to be wearing this one most of the time now. The card says it's 30 there. Attention, high-speed trains pass this platform. Yeah, that would be referring to via trains. That GO train I took on the Lakeshore West Line is every 30 minutes. And service is supposed to increase to every 15 minutes, but thanks to our spectacularly incompetent provincially run transit agency Metrolinx, along with the province of Ontario itself, those plans are on indefinite hold. So screw you, people of Toronto. You don't deserve good transit. That's pretty much Doug Ford's ethos anyways. But there's a look back east. All right, note to self, don't forget to tap off the GO train. Place your card. There we go.
Mama and Papa, no. You get them the paper ticket, okay? Just get them the day pass. Are they coming back and forth?
Coming back.
Yeah. So don't get them the single ride ticket.
Oh, there's an employee there, making sure those people got the best value for their ticket purchase. It's nice of them. Jeff Kennedy, 1999. Make sure to nourish yourself. Jeff Kennedy. Thank you so much, Jeff. Thank you for the 1999. Cheers to you. I'll be having a cold beverage. And then as soon as I get home, I'm going to have some lunch. Thank you for buying my lunch, essentially. All right, welcome to Royal York. There's a look south. Oh, there's 55 and 51-story towers planted here. Welcome to Toronto, where you can feel like you're far away, but massive towers coming soon. Oh no, there's a ghost bike over there. That is sad. Although it's not surprising given the quality of the infrastructure in this area. What's for lunch? I don't know. There's a 76A Royal York South bus. So if I decided to take the TTC, that is the bus I would have been on. Christchurch Memorial Gardens, plots and niches available. What a beautiful little slice of land. This is a cemetery. There's a little garden in here. died May 11th, 1933, it looks like. Look at that one. To the memory of George Scott, Mimico postmaster, who died 14th of February, 1879. And that dude lived to 75 in the 1800s. And his wife lived till the age of 85, and she died in 1896. And it looks like they were Scottish immigrants. Holy shit. They're healthier than most people today. Greetings, Glenn. Coconut Peach Gem says good morning. As we take in this nasty air. Math Doctor says, howdy do, Blue Jays fans. Howdy do you do, Math Doctor? Not that that made any sense. I think we're going to take a little over an hour to get there. Depends on how fast I walk, how much dilly-dallying we do. Poseidon Plates, Mediterranean Seafood and Grill, the Mimico Pub and Grill. They got a nice looking patio in front. Odie's Barbershop. I don't think I've ever covered this stretch of Royal York on this channel before. I never sleep. No one sells more homes in Etobicoke. Are we going on an errand? Kind of. I'm going to pick up a vehicle. Is the smoke bothering me at all? No. San Remo Bakery and Cafe. This is a nice little area. There's a Jimmy's Coffee, Giovenco Shoes. Neat looking home going in there. Greetings, Els. Andrew says the smoke is giving you such a headache. No, I don't know if I would have noticed it if you guys didn't tell me. Maybe I'm just not very observant. But we're going to be crossing the Gardiner Expressway in a few minutes. Terry Hens, $2. Love taking a walk with you. Terry Hens. Thank you so much for the $2, Terry Hens. Cheers to you. I'm glad you're along with us. It's a walk with me and several hundred others when we do this. Occasionally thousands of others. mostly 3- and 4-story walk-ups along there. Voodoo says good neighborhood. Looks pretty good on the surface. You'll have to ask someone who lives here. Goldie is definitely going for a dip in the ocean today. Mary says, enjoy watching your stream while I'm at my work computer. There may be another live stream coming tomorrow. Just a heads up on that. What was that giant cow I just passed? Oh, I think there was a butcher shop. Sorry, I didn't think to stop and look at it, but it was just a ornament advertising someone who sells a bunch of cow meat. We're almost at the highway. I have to wonder if that kid's all right. He is wearing like a full-on sweater. So, forgot about the fires. I wasn't even aware of the bad air quality until someone mentioned it in the chat. I just would have called this a muggy, not so pleasant day. Rod says you've been to every beach across Canada. Woodbine Beach was the latest. It was awesome. It's quite a scene on the weekend. Oh, I thought that might have been a squirrel or raccoon, but looks like a bath mat or a towel or something. Hello, highway. What am I renting? I don't know. But that is northeast. There's a look west over there. You want to go to Tobermory, I believe. You were trying to say. You're from Southeast Asia or Central America, this is cold. I wouldn't say that. I've done more than my fair share of videos and streams from Southeast Asia. we should be just a few blocks shy of the Queensway. So we're gonna go west. When we get there, make our way to Kipling. Then north up to where I get the car. I'm gonna cut the stream before I pick up the car, so that part won't be on the stream. Mike Landry too, $3. Hello, Johnny and chat. Mike, I still need to get around to watching that video. I'll do so this afternoon. But thank you, Mike Landry, too, for the support and the super chat. And this is Eden Court. Before you is part of the red brick facade of Eden Court, a farmhouse built for Edward Stock in 1886. Nice little slice of history. Where in East Asia is the best vacation spot? I don't know about East Asia, but Southeast Asia really depends on you. There's a number of great spots. My favorite beaches were probably in Boracay. My favorite city, Bangkok. Small to medium city, Shanghai or Chiang Mai. Best value, probably Saigon or Ho Chi Minh City. I'm more of a city person. I should just put you in my pocket, you're nosy. Hey look, it's the Queensway. So we're gonna be making a left. Sorry for the janky camera work there. And we're just 2 viewers shy of 400 according to my counter. So thank you so much, guys. Friendly reminder to like, subscribe, hit the bell, and all that fun stuff. Greetings, Robert. Yeah, math doctor. I'm aware Costco got those cheap, inferior to IKEA hot dogs. It's all good. I'm gonna hold off on eating until I'm home. Right, we're at the Queensway, so let's go left here. I've streamed from Queensway and Royal York before and gone north up to Royal York Station. Looks like they just resurfaced their parking lot. New burger joint rolling in, Acme Burger. But yes, this is essentially Queen Street. When you get to Parkdale, right at the intersection of Roncy and King, the Queensway becomes Queen Street West. And that is way to the east of here. Kevin says Acme Burger is back. The return of an institution. I can't say I've ever tried it. Hua Thai. Queensway Bistro and Grill. You're not going to see too many people out on a day like this. And this isn't really a high traffic area for pedestrians anyways. Spatucci's. An old school PC repair center. Queen's Cleaners. It's the Queen's Cleaners. There's an apostrophe. That belongs to her. Hana, Japanese restaurant. Haina. I was about to say Hana is a Korean name. Used to be an Acme Burger in the theater next to the Annex. I remember that. So there's tons and tons of new developments going up along the Queensway here. Stephanie Jackson is here. She just finished watching yesterday's Stumble stream. A very sober Stumble stream. Best pierogies in town. Can't wait to meet you, brother. Well, you can always say hi on a live stream. It's not like I'm not broadcasting exactly where I am. What's my favorite lunch? Depends on my mood. I don't really have a go-to. BG says, are you going back to Asia soon, Johnny? Can't wait to be back in Japan and Thailand. I was just in Japan and Thailand. I tend to book those trips on short notice, so ask me that question in October and I'll have an answer for you. But right now, that's the last thing on my mind. A smaller scale retail going in this condo. I don't hate it. All too often, these new condos have big retail spots designed to attract bigger, deeper pocketed, more stable tenants, which is good for the investor and the building owner, but it is shit for the character of the neighborhood. My parents says I'm getting everyone hungry. Hey, a Harvey's. A standalone Harvey's with a drive-thru. Those are a rarity these days, at least in Toronto. And just in behind the Harvey's is a Costco. I have a friend who lives at Adelaide and Bathurst in a townhome. And that's where he drives out to and loads up on groceries. Like he said, over the past 4 or 5 years, it's become a rather miserable experience shopping there. Elijah's Automatic Flame Broiled Burgers. We got a Starbucks. Banh Mi, Vietnamese street food and drinks. Momo. Don't you just love Toronto? Doesn't matter where you are in the city. You get all this amazing food from all over the globe. And you know when you go in there, it's not going to be some white dude making Momo like you'd find in a lot of American cities. Not that that's a bad thing, but You know where I'm going with that? Something more authentic. And look at that, it's a Dairy Queen / Money Mart. How the hell does that happen? Canadian Tire hot dogs, everyone. Now ask questions later. Galloway Arms, Kuta Uma. Hey Johnny, am I ever going to Victoria, BC? Yeah, I just don't know when. And hey, look, it's the first ever Timmy's in Toronto. It's got a new facade, but they kept the old school sign. At least I think that's the first ever Timmy's. And there's a Papa John's. There's a new Papa John's that recently opened near where I live in Midtown. As we get to Plastics Avenue, give a little wave to that driver and move my feet a little faster. Clayton says in the cooling economy it melts like an ice cream on top of a coat. So we're going to be walking by the doomed Queensway Cineplex. Is Papa John's good? I really only ever ate Papa John's when I lived in Korea, so I couldn't tell you about Canadian Papa John's. Glenn says Vancouver is having a heat wave. That used to be the Pie Commission. Johnny could do all of the PEI in a day or two. Just curious, how long does Google say it's going to take to walk to where I'm going from here? It says 40 minutes. I'm good with that if you are. Depending if I stop and dilly-dally or not. You might beat that. That seems about right to me. You ever do a Hamilton walking tour? Sure. Shiny big new condo, courtesy of Madame Homes. Rolly says, so about 18 minutes for you. Yeah, usually I'm a good 10 to 20% faster than what Google Maps suggests, but when I'm live streaming, I often stop and look at stuff. So who knows? Jeanette says, I hope it's not too hot, 40 minutes of walking in the heat and the shitty air, but I've got an ice cold sparkling water in my backpack. And I will crack that open. at some point soon. I'm starting to feel like I could use it. Will I ever visit Grimsby? Probably. I had to take the sunglasses off so I could read my screen, but we're rocking the new Jay's cap. No more bench or Patagonia hats unless I feel like it, but I got the mesh cap here. I was in the Eaton Center yesterday and popped into Lids. It's silly asking why I'm always in your hood when you're not there. I don't know, but I've got to be in this area. Anyway, so it made sense to record the GO train ride and then stream this morning. Hope I have an extra t-shirt. I do not. Hey, there is the ill-fated Cineplex Odeon. So there used to be a movie theater across from Sherway that was operated by Cineplex. And then after they closed that one, they opened this. So this was the replacement of the Sherway movie theater. And now this one is going to make way for condos and a massive redevelopment. And they're not going to have a major movie theater on the West End. And there's been a lot of disability advocates and locals saying, hey, we're losing a very valuable place. Kind of a third place where people can go, and it's going to be much more difficult. So I don't know the answer, but hopefully maybe where the bay was at Sherway Mall, that's what I think would be an excellent spot to open a movie theater, even if it's just 5 or 6 screens. Go full circle. As we cross this massive strode. But this is Islington Avenue, so you could go north up Islington. It's not a very interesting walk, but we could. And that will take you up to Islington Station. And I think it was a few months ago I started a live stream from this spot. I had to use the bathroom, so I popped into this gas station and theirs was out of service. So I had to improvise. I'm not saying I used my male privilege on one of those trees, but I'm not saying I didn't use it. Oh, this is nice, this shade. Camp says Johnny Strode's. Goodbye, Cineplex Odeon. I remember seeing the original Avatar there. Math Doctor says, when you gotta go, you gotta go. Hey man, if it's not a paved surface and it's a tree and nobody can see me, fair game. I mean, really, would you tattle on someone if you saw them taking a leak on a tree? I don't think so. D-Spot Dessert Cafe. I almost read that as G-Spot. Michelle says there's a really awesome family-run old-school theater in Oakville. Neat. I used to go to, I think it's Dorval Drive in QEW. They turned that one into a Cineplex, but that's where I saw Terminator 2. I also saw The Naked Gun 2.5 there. And a whole bunch of other movies, but those are the two I remember. Scotiabank, you're richer than you think. And holy cow, we're nearing 500 viewers. Thank you guys. There's a possibility I go live tomorrow. There may be a special guest on that stream. Click that bell if you want to be notified of that. That may or may not have something to do with the automobile I'm going to pick up. Yoshi needs some AC action. Yeah, I'm probably going to stay in after I get home after this. Pleasant? This is not. That guy was wearing black jeans. I'm not saying that's nutty, but that's fucking nutty. Would a paint by numbers take my mind off the weather? I don't know. David C says he is the special guest. Hey, there's a Longo's coming soon across the street. Kilo says, it's funny, you've been in Ontario for 26 years and it's your first time hearing about Mimico? Well, that was the area where I got off from the GO train. Oh, someone's over there. I can't hear them, but they said Johnny, or I can't see them. Maybe they decided not to dox themselves. Yeah, I went to a Scotty Bond's Caribbean Grill. Oh, I see someone on their balcony. Maybe I was just hearing things. Mocha Bubble Cafe. We got a cow on the roof. Sushi, Asian kitchen, all you can eat. Yeah, there's a Shawarma Royale across the street. I've been going to that place somewhat regularly. Whew. That Mandarin has been there forever. There's also a Swiss Chalet across the street. That's been there forever. We are very near Kipling Avenue. When we get to Kipling, I'm gonna crack open a cold drink in my backpack. How are we doing in the old step count department? That's it? A measly 6,200? There's a mall entrance. And that guy was turning left, but they didn't get fully in that center lane, hence the honking. Above and beyond staffing. All right, we've been live for 1 hour. Let's see if I can find some shade to crack open a cold drink. I see some shade. Ugh. Brown says go shirt, less bro. I don't know what that means. Taking a short little intermission or siesta, whatever you want to call it. Keeping the drink cool in the Yeti. Thank you, Medano. And today we've got a blackberry sparkling water. holy shit, is this not the best thing I've ever had? I'm just gonna see how long we are to our destination. 22 minutes. Not bad. Noise Mace says nice 7-Eleven t-shirt. I bought this in Pattaya, actually. All right, we're gonna get moving. Andy Wood says better than bubbly. They're all about the same. Actually, I just want to make sure I did my backpack up. Daniel Barry Sports Highlights is here. As we begin the march north up Kipling. Natural. They say it has no sugar in it and it's no calories, but it's naturally flavored. And there's no sweetener, so there's something in there. Time to boogie. So we are going north up Kipling. Someone said their ears are bleeding. What, from the ambulance? We'll be going by a big movie studio or film studio pretty soon. Yeah, Camaro SS Z28. I was more of a fan of the Firebird bodies, but I still like it. It's certainly a lot calmer on Kipling than on the Queensway or even Royal York. Greetings, Remy. What is that flag on the right? Just Smitty says the Sunfire was cool. It looked cooler than its mechanical twin, the Cavalier, but under the hood, they were the same damn thing. The two-door Cavaliers looked okay. What's interesting, the Sunfire looks sportier and better than the Cavalier, but then the next generation was the Chevy Cobalt. And the Pontiac, do they call it the G5? And the Chevy was the one that looked sportier of the two. Those two-door Cobalts look pretty neat. You don't really see them on the road so much these days. This is North Queen Street. Smith Engineering, Structural Forensic Building Science, Environmental Engineering, 707 Kipling Avenue, eh? Grant had a Trans Am in the 90s. Joe! Thank you, Joe. Thank you for the 99 cents. Cheers to you, Joe. Much appreciated. And by the way, if your stream says it's in 4K, because of the heat, I decided to dial it down. So I'm actually broadcasting this in a very high bit rate, 1080p, but my streaming server is outputting it at 4K. So it won't look quite as good as the usual 4K streams. That's a compromise I have to make when it gets this hot. Saves me a lot of battery life though, and it keeps the phone from overheating. Oh, look at that. I believe that's a McLaren. The flag was South Vietnam. Neat. I could have used my circle to search, but why do that when you have almost 500 people watching? You could just ask them. Self-serve, 132.9. Please pay inside. That is old school. And we're at Jutland Road. I did a walking video along Jutland Road. It's a really interesting road. Means we are not far from our destination. Yes, let's creep out over the sidewalk. Look at the art. Rancho Relaxo. Tacos, burritos, and more. 3 tacos for $13.50. Whenever I'm returning a car to Rome Auto, I bring it to this Esso. Last time they were running this promo. This company was selling like wax products, and there was a girl hanging out at the pumps. She's like, "What could I do to get you to buy this?" I'm like, "I don't even own a car." And she was like, "Well, what car is this?" And I was like, "Oh, I get cars for free whenever I need them." And I think she didn't believe me. SL 136.9. But I'll put a link to Rome Auto when I get home down in the description of the video if I remember to. If you're looking for short to medium term rentals in Toronto. I know a few people who use them who are rather happy with them. They've always been amazing to me, but I mean, that almost goes without saying. What's for lunch? I don't know. There's a Purelator, which is really just an arm of Canada Post, if I'm not mistaken. And all those towers off in the distance, up to the left, are right around Kipling Station, the western terminus of Line 2. Gaby says they're filming the Dollhouse at Cinescape Studios coming up on the right. Clayton Crawford used to work at this Purelator. Did you commute there from Richmond Hill? This guy just asked if he can talk to me. Charco. Hello?
Mr. Strides?
Is this Howard?
Yes.
Do you want to be on stream or not?
Oh, whatever. I don't care. Everybody knows me anyways.
I recognized you by your license plate.
Jesus, Murphy. How did you figure it out? So I paid a little visit to Kenny, thinking that he indulged and he was tripping balls, remember?
Yeah.
It's for you, sir.
Can I ask what the contents of these are?
THC.
All right.
Maybe have to try, like give yourself a chance. They're not those $3.95 freaking gummies you chew on.
No, they're little.
Yeah.
Well, I'll take them in a safe place before bed, and then I can't go wrong.
Hey, I have a cookie every evening. It's my treat. I sleep like a baby. I figured, it's my 42nd anniversary today. My wife was with her cousin at the cottage, and she's on her way home, and I had a chance to scoot out real quick and chase you down. I've been planning to do it for a few weeks, but, when I saw Kenny and you together at New Year's, I thought, oh, long-haired dude hangs with Johnny and indulges. Well, what the fizz, man?
Well,
it was one of those.
Hey, man.
Anyways, I'm going to not hold you up.
Well, thank you. Happy anniversary.
I knew you were coming to Rome, so I thought, well, I can make it down. I gave one to Vasily in April. He marched up Martin Grove and then on Finch, and I'm right at Albion and Kipling. And I texted him. I said, listen, I'm a kilometer away. I'll meet you. So he walked the entire Finch transit line on the tracks at 10 o'clock in the evening. And I said, and I told him, I said, hey, listen, it's loaded. And he knew exactly. He said, oh, Johnny would like one of these. I said, well, hey, I'm telling you what it is. And I told Kenny, I said, hey, man, they're loaded. And he didn't understand exactly. I should have been a little bit more specific.
Live and learn.
Live and learn.
Well, thank you so much.
You're very welcome. It's a pleasure meeting you, sir.
You too.
Since last October, and then New Year's, you and Kenny teamed up together on New Year's Eve and watched the fireworks.
Yep.
That's where I started watching Kenny. And
well, I'm sure we'll do it again. But happy anniversary.
Thank you, sir.
Cheers. Drive safe.
Pleasure.
Howard
I
Charco.
have a son, 45 years old, so.
Same age. Howard Charco. I'm going to put these in my backpack so they don't melt and crumble. I'm definitely going to give them a go. Howard says he has them every night. All right, let me just put the phone down. It was awesome to meet him. There's CineSpace Studios, where a viewer just said they're filming a big production. All right, thank you, Howard Charco. Nice to meet you. Johnny, have one of those cookies now. I'm about to get behind the wheel of a vehicle, Mike. I do believe that would be not only downright legal, but highly illegal, but highly irresponsible. Like I said, they'll be consumed from a safe space with the bed nearby. A giant film studio. Dollhouse. Stage 5, parking lot 4. Should I go take part in a production? The Westies stages Crew Park. Same as drinking. If you indulge, be responsible. Yeah, I drive so seldom. That's never really a worry, but I never have more than one if I am. Why tempt fate or be irresponsible? All right, I'm gonna opt not to hightail it across as long as I don't hold up a bus here. But the countdown timer is almost all the way down. Yeah, we're just chilling on a bench on Kipling Avenue on a day with terrible, terrible air quality in the bloody heat with almost 500 people watching. We're only a few minutes away from our destination. Started at Union Station, took the GO train. Look at that guy just blatantly run the red light on that right turn. You have to come to a complete stop. Taco House. Best pops ever. Sam Ronald, 190. Thank Thank you, Sam. Thank you so much for the support. And Sheena Roberts, thank you for today's walk. Stay cool. 10 pounds from Sheena. Holy shit. Thank you, Sam. Thank you, Sheena Roberts, our trusty moderator with the 10-pound super chat. Thank you very much. Yeah, we're going to be ending in a couple of minutes. You guys have been terrific. Thank you so much for coming along with me for the journey. It is a hot one. That's for dang sure. Will says, that's called being an efficient driver? No, that's called being an asshole who shouldn't have a driver's license. Oh, but what about cyclists when they roll through stop signs? How many fucking people have cyclists killed in this city over the last decade? None? How many hundreds, if not thousands, have been killed by motorists doing shit like that? There's the 44 Kipling station bus going south. This is great, getting to see parts of southern Ontario I wouldn't have otherwise gotten to see. Sucks that you missed the beginning from Union Station. Well, I started on the train. I was hoping to start from Union Station, but the TTC was so damn hokey from Eglinton. I got to the station and I had to wait about 10 minutes for a train. There were no announcements or mentions of any delays, and then the train just stayed there on the platform for a few minutes, not moving, no announcements again. Then we went through the slow zone. So it should have been a 25-minute trip to Union was more like 40, 45. And I had to sprint to the train. Thanks, TTC. Keep up the good customer service. And there is Rome Auto. So I'm going to be heading to that spot. Oh, Caroline. $5. Thank you. Stay safe. Carolyn. Thank you. Wonder which one of those awesome vehicles I'm going to get to take. But thank you, Carolyn, for the $5. You might recall I started a live stream from here once, and we went north up to Islington Village. That was the last time I came here. But if I remember to, I'll update the description with the link to Rome Auto. You can also find it on my most recent driving videos and driving live streams. But this is about all she wrote for this one. I want to thank our mods. I want to thank Joe for saying thanks for still doing this in this weather. Joe, thank you for the $2.79. Much appreciated, Joe, and thank you for watching me do this in this weather. A huge thanks to our mods, Patreon supporters, channel members, everyone who sent support. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that bell to be notified when I go live next. There may be a special live stream tomorrow. I'm not committing to it, but I am saying maybe. Thank you, Gertej, Caroline, Vivian, Madano, Mike. virtual tourist, XDN, Skywalking, and everyone else, Mega Tokyo. It is time for me to peace out. Thank you so much, guys.